Hi, I'm Erin McGuire, owner of Pure Light Wellness. Today I wanted to talk to you about emotional eating. This is a big topic that really affects a lot of people. It's another form of addiction. It should be seen and almost treated just the same way as any other kind of addiction. And it's really defined as overeating in order to relieve negative emotions. So, it's just an addiction like anything else. It's like, what do we do when we're feeling stressed or when we've had a bad day? Some people go drink, some people go smoke a cigarette, some people use food. And it's something I've struggled with in terms of sugar. I've definitely had an addiction to sugar, and I still work through that today. It's gotten a million times better, and it just shows up, and I don't really have to worry about weight. I've been lucky in that regard. I'm thin, but it doesn't mean just because you're thin that oh my gosh, you would never have an emotional eating problem, right? It affects so many people in so many different ways, and so we want to be mindful that is out there. Whether people are thin or overweight or anything in between, it can affect people. And so you just want to really be mindful of what's triggering you. Number one, what foods do you crave, right? Is it, a donut, a sugary drink? For me, it's chai lattes. Those are kind of my things that I have when I feel like I need to, soothe myself. I go to a chai latte. So I've stopped drinking those. So it's learning what those kind of trigger foods are for you. Maybe it's a bag of potato chips. Whatever that food is, it's learning that maybe you don't buy it, number one, so that it's not around the house, but it's learning to deal with your feelings rather than to, use the food to numb some of the feelings that you're having. And so how do you know if you have an emotional eating issue? I'm just going to ask you a few questions and you can answer yes or no to those. Do you eat when you're feeling stressed? Do you eat when you are not hungry or even when you're full? Do you eat to feel better? Do you use food as a reward for yourself? That's where I got one. Yes, I totally did that. I totally ate to feel better. And for me, it wasn't eating. It's drinking. Chai lattes. It's my sugar addiction shows up in the form of drinks. Of like tea and coffee, just anything where I can add sugar and honey and all that good stuff. Do you eat until you've stuffed yourself? Does food make you feel safe? Do you feel like food is a friend? Do you feel out of control around food? So these are all triggers. If you answered yes to several of those, it's quite likely you have an emotional eating addiction going on. And it's just important to understand what's emotional hunger versus actually your body telling you you're physically hungry. And emotional hunger is the craving for specific comfort foods, as I've mentioned before. So number one, get clear on what those comfort foods are and see if you can start at least taking them out a little bit, step by step. Maybe not taking it out full bore, unless you want to go that route, if that works for you, but at least limiting those foods. The second thing you want to be aware of is let's deal with the feelings that are there. Rather than taking the food, let's go into the feeling for a moment. So, maybe before you go through that drive-thru or before you get your Starbucks chai latte or before you, go get the bag of potato chips, you stop and take a few deep breaths and just ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Maybe put a right hand over your heart and just say, it's safe to feel this feeling. I'm feeling scared. Well, why am I feeling scared? Oh, because this happened and that happened. Well, why is that making me feel scared? Be willing to get in there and do the dirty work with yourself a little bit, to go into the feeling. As they say, it's a wonderful quote, the only way out is through. So the only way out of this emotional eating addiction that you have going on, if you're suffering from that, is to go into the feelings and to really investigate why. Why am I choosing food and sugar and carbs over just being with myself. What am I so scared to know about myself? Journaling is a great exercise to do, but most importantly, right when you're about to go get the food or the drink that feels good to you, is to just stop and ask yourself and be with the feelings. And then there's a great little thing called, I have to grab it here, called sachet. And it's just as you'd spell sachet. I'm going to see if I can put it up here for you. So you can see on the top, sad, angry, scared, happy, excited, tender. Hopefully that doesn't come backwards. It probably does on there. But anyway, sachet, sad, angry, scared, happy, excited, tender. So what a great thing to do is to just stop and ask yourself, okay, which of those feelings am I feeling and why? And then to learn to go within and be with your feelings. So you can even put on your phone for 3 times a day, maybe 8 a.m., 12 p.m., 6 p.m., a little question that comes up as I put it in my calendar, so it comes up as a reminder of what I need to do, and it just says, what am I feeling right now? So that you learn throughout your day to start getting more familiar with your own feelings, to start asking yourself, because so many of us are running from ourselves on some level, and that creates a lot of resistance. I did a video last week about resistance. It creates a lot of resistance in our bodies, and you gotta, in order to heal, you have to feel. I've heard people say that before as well, and I really believe it. I believe it to be true. I don't think we need to keep going back in and rehashing the past and going over it again and again, but you've got to be able to be with whatever feelings are coming up. And 9 times out of 10, those feelings are coming from childhood. So if you had, a chaotic childhood, or, just different things happen to you, trauma, that still lives within that little child that lives within you. So that's usually the feelings that are coming up, is that, oh my God, I'm scared I'm going to be rejected. I'm scared that I'm not going to be loved. And so you've got to kind of reparent yourself a little bit. Maybe this sounds totally hokey and you're just like, oh my gosh. But what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and expecting a different result. So you're ignoring your feelings and constantly abusing food and different substances that are very addictive. By the way, sugar is the most addictive food substance on the planet. They've now done studies where they've shown and proven that these rats, they gave them cocaine, and then they introduced sugar into the thing. So they had a choice between cocaine and sugar. The rats chose sugar over cocaine every single time, until they basically got so big and fat that they exploded and died. It's a study, check it out. So I don't know if they died. Maybe I made that part up. But they did get overweight. They got very overweight. I think I like to throw in a little bit of drama there to really make it sink in so you can feel the pain, right? But sugar is so addictive that, not only it's like you have the emotional addiction, but then the sugar addiction on top of it. So it's like, let's learn to just deal with what's coming up for ourselves so that we can be the gardener of our vibrational frequency, so that we can really stay in a higher vibe state, so that we are more effective in our lives and we're able to do more. Because the problem with emotional eating, there's many problems with it. Overweight, just having to deal with an addiction in general, feeling out of control of your feelings, feeling out of control of your actions by going and getting the thing, but then afterwards you feel guilty. So now you're dealing with guilt on top of everything else. So go out there and handle this for yourself. Be with your feelings. Be willing to sit with them for a little bit. If you need any help, please let me know. Reach out. I'd be happy to help you. And in the comments below, leave a message. Is this helpful for you? Have you ever considered yourself to have an emotional eating addiction? And, let us know. Are you willing to work through it? Are you willing to go there and feel some of these feelings and what came up for you? So I'd love to hear from you. Leave any comments below. I hope you have a wonderful day. And again, you can find me on any of the social media under Pure Light Wellness. Thank you so much for watching.